Today, we are going to talk about joint pain and about 6 real reasons why it appears and stays with a person for years. And most importantly, about 6 steps that can reduce this pain or stop its progression if you start in time. I want you to understand this immediately. Joint pain is not just an unpleasant sensation, and it is not an abhijatna part of aging. It is a signal that the body sends long before movement becomes limited. Most people think joints start hurting suddenly, but in reality, this process develops over years. It begins with slight morning stiffness, with discomfort after sitting for a long time, with the desire to move slower or avoid longer walks. And at this stage, a person can still do everything, but already starts adjusting life to the body instead of adjusting the body to life. They walk less, go out less, avoid stairs, give up activities they used to love. And they do this unconsciously, thinking it is safer. But this is exactly how the vicious circle starts. Movement leads to weaker joints. Weaker joints lead to more pain, and more pain leads to less life. As a doctor, I want to say this very clearly. Joint pain that is tolerated almost always progresses, but joint pain that is addressed early can very often be controlled. And that is why this video matters. Not to scare you, but to make sure you do not miss the moment, when things can still be changed without surgery, without constant painkillers, and without losing mobility. Throughout this video, we will go through 6 reasons that most often stand behind joint pain after 40 or 50, and 6 simple but effective steps that you can start doing already today. They do not require complex terms, expensive procedures, or extreme decisions. But they do require attention, because joints do not recover overnight, but they respond very well to regular care. And if you are feeling pain, stiffness, or movement limitation right now, this video can help you stop the process before it takes more than just comfort. I want to tell you the story of one person, because in stories like this, most people recognize themselves. Her name was Sarah. She was 52 years old. She did not consider herself sick. She worked, had a family, loved spending time with her grandchildren, and always said that her legs were just getting tired. The first pain in her knees appeared several years earlier. At first, only in the morning, a few minutes of stiffness, and then it went away. Sarah did not pay attention to it. She thought it was normal, that everyone feels like this later in life. Then the pain started to appear after longer walks. She simply shortened her routes, sat down more often to rest, and told herself that she should not overdo it. Over time, she stopped using stairs and started taking the elevator, even for one floor. She did not see this as a problem. She saw it as reasonable caution. When the pain became stronger, she started using creams and painkillers. A pill removed the pain, and life seemed to return to normal, only for a short time. Each month, the pills worked less, and the pain returned faster. Sarah began refusing trips because she was afraid she would have to walk a lot. She stopped playing with her grandchildren on the floor because she wasn't sure she could stand up. She started planning her day not around what she wanted to do, but around how her knees felt that day. And the worst part was that she got used to it. She told herself that she was just aging, that this is what life looks like after 50. And that was the biggest mistake. When Sarah finally came to the doctor, she was surprised because she expected to hear that nothing could be done anymore. But the doctor said something different. He said that the pain did not start in the knees, but much earlier, in lifestyle, movement, nutrition, weight, and in muscles that had not supported the joints for years. He said the pain was a signal, not a sentence, and that if she had reacted earlier, the process could have been stopped much more easily. Sarah cried not from pain, but from realization. She understood that she had tolerated something for years that did not need to be tolerated. She understood that she had gradually limited herself, thinking it was the right thing to do, and that no one had told her that joint pain does not mean the end of movement, but rather the need to change the approach. What shocked her most was that she was not lazy or irresponsible. She simply did not know. She did what millions of people do: ignored early signals because they did not seem serious. And this story matters because most people do not wake up one day with severe pain. They walk into it gradually, step by step, habit by habit. And when the pain becomes constant, it feels like it is too late. But the truth is that it often becomes too late only when a person stops moving completely. And before that point, there is still a lot that can be changed. And if you recognized yourself in this story, if you also say that you are just being careful, then it is age that it is easier this way. This is exactly the moment to stop and think, because joint pain rarely appears without a reason, and it almost never disappears on its own if nothing changes. Now let us move to the most practical part. Today we are not just talking about pain, but about 6 real reasons why joints hurt, and 6 clear steps that can reduce this pain or stop it if you start in time. The first reason and the first step is movement, or more precisely, lack of movement. When pain appears, people start moving less, and this only makes the joint weaker, because joints are designed to move. Without regular movement, they receive less nutrition and become stiffer. That is why gentle daily movement is not harmful. It is treatment. Slow walking, light stretching, simple movements without sharp pain, every day. The second reason is chronic inflammation, which is often supported by what we eat and drink. Too much sugar, frequent snacks, processed food, and not enough water keep inflammation active in the body. That is why the second step is drinking enough water throughout the day and reducing foods that increase inflammation. Joints are very sensitive to daily nutrition. Reason is excess weight. Even a few extra kilograms significantly increase the load on knees, hips, and spine. And it is important to understand that weight loss does not have to be extreme. Reducing body weight even by a small percentage can already reduce joint pain. The fourth reason is weak muscles around the joint. When muscles do not support the joint, all the load goes directly to it, and wear increases faster. That is why the fourth step is gradual muscle strengthening, without pain, without sudden movements, but regularly. The fifth reason is poor sleep and constant stress. During sleep, the body recovers. When sleep is short or shallow, inflammation increases and pain feels stronger. That is why the fifth step is improving sleep and reducing daily stress, even with simple changes. The sixth reason is ignoring early signals. When pain first appears, people tolerate it, wait, use creams, take painkillers, and postpone changes. But painkillers do not heal, they only turn off the signal. The sixth step is acting early and consistently. Small changes today create big results over time. Joint pain rarely disappears on its own, but it often decreases or stops when the causes are addressed. And these 6 steps, movement, water, nutrition, weight, muscles, sleep, and attention to body signals, give joints a chance to recover and serve you again instead of controlling your life. To finish, I want to focus on what really matters. Joint pain does not always mean something dangerous, but there are situations when it must not be ignored and medical help is needed without delay. You should see a doctor urgently if joint pain suddenly becomes much stronger in a short period of time, if the joint becomes hot, swollen, or red, if movement becomes sharply limited, if pain wakes you up at night, if weakness, fever, or general illness appears, or if pain started after an injury. These are signs that require evaluation and should not be waited out. In all other cases, the most important thing you can do is not wait for years, but start acting consistently. To make this easier, here is a simple checklist for the next 7 days. Every day, include at least 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement without sharp pain. Drink enough water throughout the day. Reduce sugar and processed foods. Add simple balanced meals without overeating. Go to sleep at the same time and aim for real rest. At night, pay attention to body signals instead of immediately silencing them with pills. These are not complicated actions, but they often determine whether joint pain progresses or slowly retreats. I want you to understand something very important. Joint pain rarely takes life away suddenly. It takes it away quietly, through less movement, fewer plans, less joy, and gradual withdrawal from things that once mattered. That is why so many people get used to limitations without noticing when they became normal. This channel exists so you don't miss these moments, so you know what to pay attention to earlier, not when it is already hard to change. If you subscribe, you will receive calm, clear medical explanations, without panic, without complex terms, and without myths about health after 40, 50, and beyond. Most people never learn that their joints could have been supported earlier. They find out too late. I want you to be among those who know in time and keep their movement independence, quality of life for as long as possible.